Making money on XRP. We're talking about flare and staking. Juicy stuff. Along with stables being big all-time high.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Big news for the XRP ecosystem. Multiple race spikes, yes. Crypto, some green up on the screen, but mostly red. Your comments come first, though. And deep dive. Peter Griffin, institutions, banks, stablecoins, making money. But you know the deal. Your comments, yeah, first. Twitter says, my side, your side politics is what's ruining the U.S. people. Pledging to an alliance to a party, it's like a cult on either side. Basically talking about extremism. People need to stop fighting each other and step back to see what's really happening. It's all about divide and conquer. I agree. Do I like tasty bong rips? Yes. Do I also like to go hunting and shoot Pancho Pistolas? Yes, I do. I like things from both sides, and I bet most of you are the same. We're moderates. But moderates don't have anywhere in the media. They want extremism because it makes them money, pitting us against each other. Crypto Goats dropping support on the channel. Thank you kindly. Says, I want to jump on a call with you 5 minutes. So as a tease, I gave you just the tip. That's actually really freaking funny, man. We're going to save this damn crypto industry or die trying. My email, it's linked in the channel description. Easy to find. If you look, Paul Holmes, John Holmes, sorry. Klaus, if a stablecoin is locked to the value of $1, how do we make money on that? Done, and done. Deep dive coming. We got to talk RLUSD, stablecoins, ecosystem, users, players, making money, and of course, Bitcoin sitting at 86,662, ETH is 2017, XRP is at 240. I told you the price action was already priced in with the SEC case. Sucks. Pi, oh God, how low is it now? It's freaking so deep in red. 79 cents, piece of crap. All right, Sol, 139, 8 at 73. Sweet's getting a little bit of pumperoni action. Meme's looking a little bit warmer, but meme has been cool overall. All right, first things first, let's get into this. Fidelity testing its own stable coin. I know, you're like, Klaus, shut up, stop talking about stable coins. Look, I'm bringing you the news. This is what's juicy right now. This is why Trump is pushing it, and the reason I'm bringing up this story is a detail that comes from Fidelity. Gotta hear this, and then we're gonna get into some deep, juicy action. Fidelity Digital Assets is actively testing a stablecoin it is deployed. The crypto-focused arm of Fidelity, a $5 trillion asset manager, doesn't have plans yet to bring the token to the market, but they're testing it. The firm's testing of its own stablecoin comes as it also explores tokenized U.S. Treasury market. A few days ago, Fidelity rolled out a tokenized version of its U.S. dollar money market fund. Okay, cool. All right. This is where it gets juicy. Fidelity Investments filed with the SEC to list an on-chain class of its Treasury Digital Fund, becoming the latest institution to wade into the growing real-world assets market, okay? Submitted on Friday, Fidelity's preliminary registration statement reveals that the on-chain fund will use the Ethereum blockchain. Although it says it may use others in the future, it chose Ethereum. Okay, the big news here is these players are having companies build them stable coins, okay? And they're launching it on things like the ETH blockchain. But bro, gas fees. But bro, they don't give a fuck. Ethereum is like one of the preferred ones out there for tokenization. Does it make Ethereum holders money? No, it doesn't. This is more about big ecosystem and how these players are going to use stable coins to move the money. Okay. Big news, deep dive. We're going to mix it all into one big ball. Flare introduces low-risk staking for XRP holders. Essentially, what is that? You're taking your XRP, you're putting it somewhere, and for the amount of time that you put it in, you get money on out. Pretty easy, right? You get something for your XRP rather than just stuffing it under a mattress. See, that's kind of the thing with like the cold storage and all the wallets and that. Like, are you really earning any interest on that? I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I'm saying. We all have our reasons for doing stuff, but you got to remember, big players out there, big money wants to earn interest for money parked. We're going to get back into that, but now let's get wild. And if this is not worth a sub, a comment, whatever you want to call it, after these next couple minutes, I don't know what I can do for you. You're going to love this. Okay, institutions. They're represented by this really big building right here, okay? These institutions, I know it's the Empire State Building, shut up. These institutions have a lot of money. So does my man Peter Griffin. Peter Griffin is a pimp, and he's got a stable. Lois makes money too. Now, the money that they have represented in this pile right here, the money, they don't just stuff in their mattress, right? They have to put that money somewhere. They want to put it somewhere safe, and they want to put it somewhere where they can earn some interest. Well, we're all totally cool with that. A lot of you just don't leave cash around when you know you could invest some of the cash. Don't get me wrong, it's good to have some cash around, but it's not like you have 100% of your wealth in cash. You would get roasted by inflation, right? People put their money in 401ks. Either way, they need to park their money somewhere. Institutions, pimps like Peter, Lois, right? She makes money. And let's be real here. Bob's Burgers, they make a ton of fucking money. So they need to park their money somewhere. So they can choose to go to a bank and get maybe 3%. All right. And these interest rates change as the Fed changes their interest rates. That's why we do live streams regarding that, because there's a lot of stuff tied to that. So they could park their money for 3% in a bank account. And we know that a lot of people do that. My parents only believe in traditional banks. They don't really believe in any other sort of like investment mechanism. They're totally old school, antiquated. But a lot of tech savvy and business savvy and newer players in the market, right, are looking at this going, yo, why earn 3% when I can earn 7% by parking my money into stables? USDT, Tether, Ripples, RLUSD. And you're like, bro, but how do they make money on it? How do people make money on it? Okay, you make money on you lending them your cash, essentially. You're giving them your cash, you're parking it there, in the return of what, maybe 7% a year, maybe some of them I've seen as high as 14, 15% a year, but your money's like locked in there for that, right? Like that's the thing. That's how you're earning money, by parking your money somewhere. Now, it's all about how risky you think the businesses are. You look at USDC, they're backed by US Treasuries, so is Tether. They are backed by Bitcoin. In order to be US compliant with the new coin regs that pass, they would have to sell their Bitcoin. That's if that passes. We'll find out because they're going to be doing regs in April. Wow, lots of juicy nugs today, Klaus. Ripple has their RLUSD, so it's about trust of the company. A lot of you watching right now don't trust Tether, right? You're like, oh, bro, I wouldn't park my money there. Okay, cool. Would you park your money with Jeremy Allaire and Circle? Would you park your money with Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple? And would you do it for 7%? Is that worth you putting your cash into one of these businesses where you earn 7%? Now, what they do with your cash is they invest it in more risky stuff than said with a traditional bank. That's also how they're able to give juicy yields. The other way they're able to give juicy yields, or another reason why they're able to give juicy yields, is because to run a USDC, a USDT, and RLUSD, it's like digital. So you don't got to spend a shit ton of manpower. Yeah, developing you do, but once it's developed, you can run it on a skeleton crew because it's all digital. It's all like automatic, you know? It's not like every time you send crypto across the old, chain that there's someone on there on the receiving end going, let me manually approve this. No, this shit's all done auto. So these stable coins, right? There's less overhead. Banks got like these big ass buildings they got to pay for. They got staff. With that staff comes the extra insurance costs and all the expenses for office space. These players here don't have that kind of expense. And so a lot of them are able to give some of that profiterino back in terms of that yield, that 7%. Now it's all about being risky. Banks will get bailed out by the government. I think we all can agree with that. These stablecoin players, I don't know, man. I don't know if the government would want to get into that. But either way, institutions, pimps, players, and hustlers out there that have a lot of cash and don't want to stuff it in the mattress because shit's too hot, you got to park your money somewhere. You can choose to park it in a bank. You can choose to park some of that money. And this is for people that want to have it like as cash, right? Or cash equivalents, not buying something with it. Or you can park it into your stables. You trust the company that you're putting your money into? Do you trust the bank? Is it worth more reward for that risk? That's how you make money on stable coins, which is very, very similar to how XRP holders, Flare, are going to be doing that with XRP, right? You're putting your XRP somewhere. So instead of it being the cash that you're putting somewhere, instead you're putting your XRP somewhere. And did you ever think Peter Griffin, Lois, and Linda Belcher would be used in a video and it would actually make a lot of fucking sense? But remember though, I'm going to throw this out there. This is the caveat on this whole thing. A lot of these stablecoin players will only do business with institutions and will not, I repeat, not do business with people. So kind of keep that in mind here. A lot of these are going to be institutional only, okay? Let's learn. Flare introduces low-risk staking for XRP holders. Oh, Flare Networks, which integrated XRP into its testnet last year, is now expanding staking opportunities for XRP holders. The initiative offers a low-risk way to earn rewards while securing blockchain networks. And in this instance, and other crypto staking instances out there, you can get those rewards, that 7% back in crypto. Yeah, so a lot of people, like for them, they start looking at that risk going, okay, I get it. Maybe the government won't bail them out. No, there's no FDIC insurance. But man, I get a lot more than the 3% from my bank. Founder Hugo Fillion recently announced that Flare's institutional partner is developing, that's the poopy part, an XRP staking mechanism that allows users to support multiple ecosystems and receive tokens in return. Fillion emphasized that staking is generally a safe process as validators rarely encounter significant issues. It's not so much just about the validators. I don't think we're worried about that. It's more the companies behind this kind of stuff. Are they well capitalized, and are they going to mess up something? Because think about this, right? Let's just say this. Let's just say Tether does something really, really dumb. I mean, like, we find out that Tether was, like, behind Epstein, or Tether was behind the grassy knoll shooters for JFK, or Tether's behind financing aliens. Yo, that's going to wreck their USDT stablecoin. Even though the news has nothing to do with that, let's just say they were doing it privately through their money, like through cash. Yeah, they would get wrecked, and so would their products. You know what I'm saying? That happens a lot of times. Okay. So remember, trust in the company, trust in what they're putting their money into. So basically, you've got a way for XRP holders, all right, to get action. Here's what Hugo said. Flare's institutional partner is building staking on Flare. When you stake on Flare, you'll be securing networks and services across multiple ecosystems. You earn tokens in the services you stake to. Just throwing it out there. So, this is good. It's giving people a way to park their money because, like, I do understand cold short. I understand keeping your crypto safe. I understand not keeping your crypto on the exchanges. I understand not wanting to lend your crypto out because what if they go under and they take your crypto with you? What if they end up being another FTX? What if they end up being another Three Arrows? Right? So it happens out there. We've seen quite a few crypto companies go under. Seen a lot of banks go under too. Now, let's get into crypto news. Globally, bigger stuff. BTC dominance, yes, 18 out of 100. Is that good? No, it is not. In fact, watch what happens when I zoom in on this. Look at the 90-day drop in confidence from the alts in early January. And, oh, bro, you're being negative. Here's a dose of shut the fuck up. I bring you news, good or bad, happy or sad. It is not good that we went from super awesome altcoin season highs of 47, 45 to now way low, 16, 17, 13. Yeah, that's not good. That peaked in early January, the altcoin oomph. And essentially meaning that what? Meaning that the alts were stronger at that time than BTC, but they weren't because they never broke 50. Yeah, so that's like the most we got. That's not really, really cool. Now, that being said, okay, and the highest we got for like a peak like instance was 87, but for a day closeout 50. Okay, let's keep learning, all right? So we got that going on. Altcoins losing some steam. Part of the reason why altcoins are losing steam, it's because of all this stablecoin stuff. It's not that this is like bad like anti-crypto news, but it's stealing money from native tokens. Because think like if these banks out there and these players out there are just going to build their own stablecoins, who does that benefit? That benefits the companies that build stablecoins. Who builds stablecoins? XLM, Stellar's bought a stablecoin. That's a better way to say it. Ripple's built a stablecoin. Circle's got a stablecoin. Tether's got a stablecoin. A bunch of players got stablecoins. PayPal's got stablecoins. So it benefits those companies because they could sell a privatized product for that person. Like, you could literally go to Ripple and buy an XRP out privatized version from them, good to go. Just put in what your totals are, end of story, you got it, done. You could buy a privatized RLUSD from them. They'll sell that. They don't care. They'll make money on it. So what you're seeing is a lot of money, a lot of interest is going to that. We're seeing that because the volumes are down overall compared to how nutso they were. Look at this. Same thing. November to early January, nutso bonkers volume. And now we're starting to slow back down. Yeah, we're ahead of election, but we're starting to slow back down. So the interest is swinging onto stables. In fact, the interest is swinging to stables so much that stablecoin market caps are records, breaking them like every single fucking day. Remember a little bit ago when it was BTC touching all-time highs like almost every single day? Yeah, now it's stables. The money has rotated. Do you notice that BTC's price has been fairly stagnant here as well? Yeah, because the players out there, they rotated. Look at it for 6 months, right? We went nuts. Oh, there you go. December to January. Nutso on price action. And then from that January point on, the interest is kind of waned away. Players are moving into stable because right now they're looking at this 7% going, yo, we're going to get regs for stables first, which means we're going to be the safest place. So now it's not just wild, wild west risk for getting into this, right? Because remember, our institutional players got to put money in here. Now they're looking at this going, yo, shit, we're almost going to be as safe as banks and we're offering you way more money. So where do you think more people are going to park their money? They're going to park their money in stables. And when they're parking their money in stables, where are they not parking their money? Into crypto, as we're seeing the volumes decline. But what's good about this is as the volumes and the interest is declining overall with crypto, the price is holding up fairly well. Some players better than others. Some players out there are in the pumperoni dumperoni section. Don't tell me about how Pi is going to revolutionize stuff and, oh, mining, blah, 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 blah. It's 79 cents and it's eroding its value faster than... I almost said something extremely raunchy and I decided not to. That was actually a really good move on my part because that would have gotten me in trouble. You dig? Shoot, bitches.